From a classroom teacher to a selfless social worker with a master's degree, a self-made woman with loads of personal life experiences and challenges. She stops at nothing to reach people from all parts of the world. To be motivated and inspired, it is time to connect with Caroline's Motivational Television, CMTV.
Hi everyone! Today we're going to be talking about the little things that matter in life. Can you remember the name of the first president of the United States of America? Or rather still, can you remember the name of the first country that was colonized in Africa? Or can you remember the name of the first European country that stepped foot in Africa? Those are historical events that happened in yesteryears that sometimes we may not quickly remember. Let's flip the other side of the coin. Can you remember the name of your best friend in primary school? Or the name of your favorite teacher in secondary school? What about your first best friend? Those you share childhood memories and experiences. Your favorite uncle, your favorite aunt, your grandmother. Those who stand by you in times of difficulties. Do you remember them? It is time we start valuing the little things that happen in our lives because they create greater impact. Those things that matter. Sometimes the little things that happen to our lives when we are growing up that are done by other people, they impact us so well or so much that it's hard to forget those things. And they can be so minute that sometimes you may say, well, that is nothing. How come you still remember that? But you don't know at the time that help came to you, that is the reason why it creates that impact, because it was very symbolic. It was the time that you were in need. How can you forget things like that? I still remember when I was going to teachers training. I still remember the day I went to my grandmother to tell her that I have been accepted into the school, the teachers training college. And my grandmother unwrapped her wrapper and opened it and gave me the sum of 2,000 francs. Now, 2,000 francs is an equivalent of almost $5. It was so symbolic, significant, important to me because I needed that money to buy exercise books for myself. And my mother and my grandmother, she had nothing. That was the only money she had. That is why she was walking around with it, because she did not want to lose it. So when I told her this is what I was doing, with her valuing education, she gave me her widow's mite. I cannot forget that. I never forgot it. I reminded grandmother every single day I met with her, and she could not even remember that she did anything like that. Appreciate the little things around you. A neighbor who offers you flowers to plant in your garden to make it look beautiful. When you come out of your house and you see this flower growing beautifully outside, how can you forget that neighbor who offered you just a stem of maybe hibiscus or whatever flower that they did? Or the one who checks on you every other day to make sure that you're okay, especially during this time of pandemic, just to make sure that you're faring well. When was the last time you checked on your neighbor who's a senior, who needs assistance, maybe with grocery shopping or just a cup of tea? It is those little gestures that keep us going. A simple hug. Mommy comes back from work or daddy comes back from work, and you give daddy a very big hug, a tight hug, and you take daddy's purse, you take daddy's bag and take it to his room, or you unlace daddy's shoes just so he can sit down and relax because he's had a long day of work. Or you see mommy in the kitchen cooking, you meet mommy in the kitchen and you say, Mother, what can I do, or what kind of assistance can I offer so that we can cook a delicious meal together? Even if it means you grabbing salt from the cupboard to offer to mommy to put in the pot, it matters a lot. Or mommy offers you a plate of delicious meal and you say, thank you, mommy. You see mommy eating or daddy eating at the table and water is missing, you just get daddy or mommy a glass of water. Not just mommy, daddy, couples as well. When was the last time you saw your wife or your husband sitting and just idling around and you engage them in conversation without you being on your phone, texting and chatting with somebody else? When was the last time you engaged in conversation with your family members, sitting there and chatting together, just sharing some good time, without everybody just gluing themselves on their phones, spending more times on the phone instead of interacting with your family members. Surprise a nephew, surprise a niece in school. Just pay them a visit. When you have your nieces and nephews in boarding school, surprise them on a Saturday morning with a little bag, maybe with bread, sardine, cookies, crackers, chocolates. Surprise your co-worker. When you see a co-worker sitting in their office looking tired and frustrated, offer to assist, offer to help. If you think you're not able to assist them, you can remind them that they have massage packages or other packages that they can help to just relax themselves after work. Engage them in a conversation. Sit with them. Encourage them to book an appointment with their masseuse so they can have a beautiful 1 hour of relaxation in a massage parlor. Call grandma, call your mother, and remind them of the delicious meal that she always cooks when you are around. Tell them how much you miss that meal. Tell grandma how much you miss their hugs and the stories that they often tell you. Knock at your neighbor's door to see how they're faring. Engage them in conversation, just to make sure that everything is going. If they need any assistance, if you're able to provide it, you do. If you're not, you can refer them to other resources. Send flowers to your partners, to your wife at work, to your husband at work. Surprise them, something that you've not done before. If you have a friend who is a frontline worker, call them and tell them how courageous they are. Tell them how brave they are, how proud you are of them, that they are still working during this time of pandemic, and they are still as strong as taking care of other people while taking care of themselves. Little things matter in life. So I challenge you today. Just pick on one of these different scenarios that I created today and touch somebody's life. Make a phone call. Call your grandmother. Call your nephews. Make a surprise visit to your nephews or nieces at school. Make a phone call to them. Do a wire transfer to them. This is Christmas. Surprise them with something that you've not done before. Offer coffee, tea to somebody, even somebody that you don't know. Make somebody smile during this season. This is a time of giving. Give, give, give. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to cost anything. You can give just a glass of water, and that goes a long way. That means a lot for somebody. A cup of coffee. That homeless citizen who is sitting by a coffee store, provide them with a cup of coffee. It's a blessing to them because that may be just their very first meal of the day. Little things matter in life. What are the little things that you are doing for other people? Usually we expect little things to happen to us. When people do that to us, we feel great, we feel nice. When that happens to you and you feel that way, why don't you reciprocate? It is time for you to do that. If you've never done it before, now is the time. If you've been doing it, reinforce it because it creates greater impact in society. It gives us a sense of purpose, a sense of love. Let us continue to spread the love because this is the season. Thank you, everybody.